Friday, June 22nd, 2012, 3 p.m. Once the unpacking was done, Honey started the campfire all by herself, while Seth and Constance snagged a couple of beers from the cooler and walked down to Crispin Lake, just on the other side of the cabin. Frances was in the bathroom of the cabin with Drake and Oscar, snorting fat lines of cocaine. After getting her fire started, Honey opened her vial of unicorn blood, took a small sip, and went on a trip. Seth and Constance came back to the campfire to see Honey staring at the sky, butt naked and giggling. "You hitting the unicorn blood again?" Seth asked, chuckling as he sat down next to Honey and pet her scalp. "That's right, Mickey Mouse with the sexy voice," Honey giggled, turning her gaze to Seth. "It's me, Seth. Are you aware that you're naked?" Seth asked, with a smirk as he morphed back into himself from Honey's perspective. "Don't you act like you don't love it." Honey giggled, seeing rainbow spikes come out of Seth's cheekbones as she sat up, her curves and soft parts recoiling pleasantly. "Well, there isn't anyone here but the six of us," Constance chuckled. "Never said I didn't love it, cutie. I just wanted to know if you knew." Seth giggled. "You guys smell like weed and beer. If y'all want a sip of unicorn blood, I'd love a beer and a doobie," Honey proposed, grabbing the vial out of her vest. "4 beers coming right up," Seth exclaimed, heading to the cooler immediately. "I got another joint already rolled," Constance exclaimed, grinning as she unzipped her purse. Minutes later, Seth and Constance were also naked, aside from their accessories. Just like Honey, they were tripping balls on unicorn blood. Just like Seth and Constance, Honey was now also drunk and stoned. Frances, Drake, and Oscar came out of the cabin a few minutes later and saw that Honey was getting a mouthful of Seth while he was spit-swapping with Constance. "Punk's got swagger, I'll give him that," Frances said, loosening his black tie ever so slightly. "They're all tripping balls, man. Smells like weed, booze, and unicorns out there." Drake chuckled, pitching a tent in his skinny jeans. "Two of them are gargling balls," Oscar said as she watched Constance join Honey, who was kissing up and down Seth's erect penis. Drake smirked. "You could gargle 2 sets if you wanted to," Frances said casually, pitching his own tent. "That could be fun," Drake said, winking at Frances. Oscar looked at both guys she was between and blushed, as they absentmindedly rubbed their own bulges. "Take each other's dicks out and I will," Oscar said, rolling her shirt up and lowering her bra. Drake and Frances looked at each other in the eye and started undoing each other's pants, blushing as they dropped them and reached inside each other's boxer briefs, pulling their penises out of each other's underwear. Oscar dropped to her knees as both guys took their shoes off, stepped out of their pants, and put their shoes back on, got onto the floor, interlocked their legs so their shafts were touching. Oscar gripped them tighter to each other and put her lips around both penis heads. Frances and Drake held hands as Oscar performed the double-barrel blowjob on them. Oscar used her free hand to pull her own pants off, and after a couple of minutes, she put both penises into her vagina and went for a ride, getting more hyped as she sniffed, the coke going further up her nasal passageway. The double three-way orgy came to an end 40 minutes later, with everyone joining around the fire, completely naked. Honey giggled as she looked at Drake's flaccid penis. "Drake, do you know how cute your dick looks soft? Reminds me of a peach-colored elephant's trunk," Honey said after Drake gave her a concerned look while she pointed at it, almost poking it. "You are a wild one, Honey. I never thought of it like that. But now that I am, I love it even more," Oscar agreed, lifting Drake's penis. She mimicked an elephant trumpet and dropped her boyfriend's penis. Everyone had a good laugh at Oscar's stunt with Drake's penis. Then Constance farted, making everyone pause, then laugh harder. After that, everyone got dressed and started drinking again, as the intense sex made everyone come down a bit. After a few rounds, Drake talked Seth into exploring the basement. That's when they noticed something odd. There was a wooden box laying on the floor in the center. The wooden box was not only wrapped in duct tape, but also had been tied shut with rope, and the latch had a lock dangling from it. With no hesitation and pure curiosity, Drake picks up the box and brings it upstairs. Seth followed Drake back upstairs. The two of them went back up to the campfire with Oscar, Constance, Frances, and Honey. "Hey, Flowers, what do you know about this box? We found it by itself on the floor of the basement," Drake asked as he sat back down next to Oscar, and Seth sat back down next to Constance. Honey looked at the box in extreme curiosity, taking her time to search her mind for the box's origin. "Nope. What's up in that box?" Honey said, smiling in the most drunken way possible. Seth passed his pocket knife to Drake, and he immediately began working on the rope. Once he got through the rope, he slashed the duct tape, then he closed Seth's pocket knife and used the butt of the handle to break the latch, bypassing the lock. When he lifted the lid, everyone's jaws dropped. It was a book, and the cover looked like skin held together by metal strips. It had one large eye on the front cover, dead center. The side of the book that wasn't the spine had short barbs that looked like little teeth. "What?" Frances asked as he grabbed the book out of the box himself.